Hello, fellow peasants. Today I'll be reviewing 1986's Witchboard. Alright guys, so I just got done watching Witchboard. This came out in 1986. What's it about? Well, it starts off at this party. These young professionals, they're out of college. They're maybe late 20s, early 30s maybe. And everyone's getting drunk. Everyone's having a good time. And then there is a conversation happening between these two people, this argument about the existence of God and demons and stuff. And they start messing with this Ouija board. And there's a rift between one guy and another guy because he feels they used to be best friends. And they kind of get into a fight at the party because he thinks he took his girlfriend. And that girlfriend gets really involved in the Ouija board. Like, she's really into it, like, once she's introduced to the Ouija board at this party. And he's like, well, okay, if you're having fun with it, you like it, take it home and or whatever. So she takes home the Ouija board. But she starts playing with it by herself, which I guess you're not supposed to play with the Ouija board by yourself. You should do it with other people around or whatever. That way you're less likely to get possessed or something. And so as time goes on throughout the film, she plays with it more and more and more, but it's not who she thinks she's playing with. Like the spirit that she's talking to is not who she thinks it is. She thinks it's the dead, like a 10-year-old dead kid that the guy who actually owns the board has been talking to, but it's not. It ends up being a far more nefarious spirit. And so things happen, like people end up getting hurt, getting killed throughout the process. The Ouija board has nasty, nasty intentions. And so throughout the story of the film, people get hurt, they die, and this guy and his old buddy, who aren't really friends anymore, they got to come together and work out their differences so that they can solve what's going on and help her, because they both care about her. One's dating her, one's getting ready to be married to her. The other one, even though he's mad his buddy is with her now, he still cares about her. So they gotta work together to figure out how to stop her from getting possessed and being taken over by this board. So that's the film in a nutshell. What do I like? What do I like? What do I not like about Witchboard? What I like about Witchboard is it is an interesting story. The story kept me entertained the whole time. So the idea of these two old friends coming together to help her not become possessed by this spirit, this evil spirit that's coming through this board, is an interesting story. There's never a point in the film where I was bored. Like, the pacing here is excellent. I think the film runs about an hour and 38 minutes. And I wasn't bored the whole time. Now, this movie has gotten bad reviews. I've read a lot of stuff that says this movie sucks, it's horrible, and I don't know where they're getting that. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that this is something that I would even place maybe on my top 50 horror films of all time or something like that, but it's a nice little flick. It's a nice little hour and 38 minute. Let's see what's going on here. It's just cool to check out, and there's nothing wrong with that. Not every movie needs to be top tier shit. Sometimes I just want to sit here and check this story out for an hour or so and leave, and maybe you never want to watch it again. I like this enough. I would probably check this out again. I don't know how soon. It's not something I don't think I would own this movie. I don't see me having that many repeated viewings with this that I want to own it. But I might turn it on again if it's, on TV. I might watch it, or if I find it on streaming again, I would check it out. But yeah, I don't get all the hate that this film has gotten. So yeah, I like the story. I like the pacing. The acting in it is good. I didn't have a problem with any of the acting. I think everything was done convincingly for the most part. There are some parts here and there where it's like a little bit of that, like we're trying too hard to be 80s hip, you know, like there's I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but sometimes in these 80s films they try to let you know that it's the 80s and it's cool and it's hip, and there's just some of it is a little try hard with the dialogue, but for the most part the performances are great. I do like some of the like it's kind of an intellectual film because they do dive a bit deep into some of the lore and the mystique around Ouija boards. Okay, so like some of the stuff I'm like, oh, I didn't know that, or I did know that. I heard about that. Like that is a thing that can happen, or whatever, or is said to happen. You know, when you play with those things. So some of it was kind of spot on from things I've known or heard about. And some of it was like, oh, I didn't know that was a term for that, or, you know, so it's pretty cool. It's, you know, it's kind of informational, you know, in terms of like the Ouija board community and whatever all that's about. What do I not like about the movie? There's not a whole lot to not like, because when you just take, I went in with almost zero expectations, and maybe that's why I'm not ripping this apart as much, because the reviews were so bad for this film, that I went into it like expecting jack shit, you know what I mean? And I came out the other end like, oh, okay, well that wasn't too bad actually. So I guess one of my nitpicks would be the very end of the film, where spoiler alert, you might want to turn it off if you care. Some people don't like anything spoiled. This isn't really a spoiler, but some people consider everything a spoiler. But at the end, one of the main characters gets pushed out a window. He doesn't die, but he gets pushed out a window, and the window he gets pushed out of is their house. And all of a sudden, the window he gets pushed out of, there's a green screen behind him. And as he's falling back, there's like a parking lot and like a soccer field behind him. And you're like, why is that the image? Like, wouldn't it be a backyard or a side yard or the front yard? Or because when you get an establishing shot from outside the house, it's like a normal suburban neighborhood, right? Why would there be a massive, and I'm talking like parking lot in terms of like it looks like it's a fucking Walmart parking lot with a soccer field next to it, what he's falling into or something. Like it's really odd. It's really weird. It's like, that would not be behind that house. So that looked really cheap. I'm trying to think of something else I didn't like in here. I guess it can come off, it is a bit dated, and I understand. The film is almost 40 years old, okay? But some of it just tried to be so hip and cool in some of the party scenes and things like that, that it was like, it lost a bit of a timeless feel that a lot of films can have, because it was trying to be hip and modern and edgy a bit in some areas, so some of it came across a little cheesy and dated. I always feel it's okay. You can't escape being of the time that you're filming in, okay? Like, you can't escape that. But what you can do is not try to make the film so much about the time you're in. Just don't completely saturate your film in the time you're in, because that's it doesn't help it in the long run. You know, you can't escape it, but just don't make it don't try to be so trendy. Okay? Because it will date your film. But anyway, I liked it. I thought it was good. if I were to rate it on a 1 to 10, I'd probably say solid 7 out of 10. Good C minus there, you know. Like, granted, like 10 out of 10 to me is The fucking Exorcist, so I'm not gonna give this. So this gets a 70% out of 100. All right, guys, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about Witchboard. If you ever seen it, if you have, let me know. Let me know. Because I don't think it deserves the hate that it got, guys. I don't think it deserves the hate that it got. All right, have a good one, peasants. Peace out. Bye-bye.